going to be a two-parter apparently, because it just turned off out of nowhere. So, funny how things happen like that, right? So I'm still going to go on with this video, because I just am. Sure. Yeah, I'll take that title. You can watch the first video and you'll totally understand what I'm talking about. If you don't check the first video and you see this video, we're talking about the idea of gatekeepers in the line of work that I do. Those that feel the need or feel the call to, I'm not even going to say power because it's not ours. What we do is not ours. We don't do it on our own. And so to be a gatekeeper, I don't know if I actually fully believe that. I think that's probably a stigma. I think that's probably a conversation from somebody that is irritated that not everybody is able to do this work. I also think that it's not that everybody can't do this work, it's everybody shouldn't do this work. And that is the big discrepancy. There's a lot of people, and here it comes, there's a lot of people that are being drawn to this movement. They're being drawn to the spiritual practice. And there's a lot of responsibility that goes with this practice. There is a lot of obligation. There, as I said, is a lot of responsibility. It is not something to take lightly. And in the last 3 years of doing this, have experienced a lot. I have found a lot. I have seen a lot. Hell, I've even heard a lot. And it is by no means something that is entertainment. It is by no means something that is supposed to be a game. And there's a lot right now that are playing with stuff that they should not be messing around with. Their family is getting sick. No rhyme or reason as to why. I can tell you why. We are all empathic beings, every single one of us. And anybody that wants to argue with me on that, go right ahead. We are energetic beings, and we all have empathic ability. We all have connection with our guides. Our minds are so incredibly smart and are so incredibly powerful that we only use half, not even half of our brain. If people use the capabilities that they have, it would be amazing. But not everybody can. And that is why I'm doing this video today. Because I have been labeled as a gatekeeper. We have people that come into the shop that want to do readings. We have people that come into the shop that want to open themselves up and do the work that I do. They look in awe of what I do, and I can see it, and they shouldn't, because it's a lot of work. And it is not for the light of heart. It's not for the faint of heart. Not the light of heart, I'm sorry. It's not for the faint of heart. That's literally what that saying means. And you'll find that a lot of the different things that we say just off the cuff, those are different things that our subconscious are trying to show us. And it is correct. Spirituality is not for the faint of heart. You have to be strong. You have to be willing to, no matter how much that you've been dogged, no matter how much you've been shit on, to be able to find the light. Do I believe in love and light? Abso-freaking-lutely. Do I believe that it should be in every single thing? No, because there has to be balance. And I've talked about this before, and I will talk about it again. Do I believe that it's a very good possibility that light and dark work together? You bet your ass I do, because I see it all the time. I believe that we are sovereign beings and that we have the right to make a decision. I believe that light, and I'm not going to say who, because I'm not in the mood for that today. I'm not in the mood for the controversial conversation and the backlash. I'm just not in the mood for it today. I mean, it's whatever, but I deal with it all the time, and I'm spent on it. I don't want to deal with it. So I believe that light dabbles with dark. Yes, I do. I believe that light gives us an option, and it wants to see how we handle that reaction, how we handle that situation. If we decide to go dark and we decide to go in a toxic area with it, or if we decide to pick our asses up and we decide to move back into what we should be, no matter how much that we want to create karma for that person, no matter how much we want to create dis-ease, just like all of it, no matter how much we want to do that, we are able to take a deep breath and conquer those emotions, conquer those feelings, and come back into light. That is what light and love is. I've seen some people throw around the idea that spiritualists and that people that do this line of work are doing nothing but love and light. And I'll tell you right now, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I also know that there's a hell of a lot of it that's needed right now. Like, if we actually woke up every day and wasn't somewhat positive, then we would fall right into that dark. We would fall back into that space. And for those that want to say that some that are practitioners are gatekeepers, well, some of us are doing the work. I'll put it out there, folks. I don't care. I have no filter. Like, I am pretty much done with the threats. I am done with the passive aggressive BS that gets thrown all the time from the jealousy and the ego. I'm done with it. I don't do the night markets. I don't do spiritual festivals. I sure as crap don't go into haunted houses and look for trouble. I don't do that because it's not fair, for one. Spirits should not be our entertainment. They shouldn't. They're lost. They're confused. They're scared. They're upset. And we should be compassionate for that. We should be compassionate towards that. That is what I do. For those that want to dabble, more power to you, but be prepared for the backlash that you will get. Because if you don't stay within your faith and you don't stay here he comes. If you don't stay within your faith and you don't find the positive, you will be consumed by the negative. You will be consumed by the darkness because it knows how to manipulate the situation. Like, I was sent a video yesterday because I had a woman that had come to me a couple weeks ago. We had connected not fully with her son in that reading because it was not supposed to be medium work. But we had connected with the memory of him. And I had told her to bring something of his in the next time she came in. Well, she accidentally thought her appointment was yesterday. I was running the shop all day. So she ended up coming in and getting some stones and stuff. And we talked for a little while. And she had told me that both of her daughters were not okay with her bringing something of her grandsons to me because it wasn't a good idea. Because the mother burned all of her, and I hate to use the word, metaphysical stuff, burned all of her tools and everything because she thought that the reason that person had passed was it was her fault because she had been dabbling in stuff that she shouldn't be dabbling in. And this lady had sent me a video because her daughter had sent her a video. And so this lady had sent me a video to show me what her concern was. And it saddened me, honestly, because the guy that was talking on there, all he did was advertise his book the whole time. It didn't really seem like it had anything to do. Well, we can have this conversation. I should have done this live. I can't remember what the book was called because I really didn't pay that much attention to it. I don't really care to read it. I feel like it was just basically propaganda for him to sell his book and to put fear into people, which a lot do. And to a certain degree, I do too. I don't think I try to put fear into people. I just want them to be aware of what they're doing. I want them to be aware when they're going into a home that is haunted as to what can happen. I want them to be aware if they go in and they start instigating and they start getting him agitated and stuff, that there's a lot that can happen in that situation. And for those that decide to pray before they go in, prayer is very strong. Yes, it is. But you actually have to believe in it. See, that is the misconception. You can pray all day, but if you don't actually feel it and you don't actually believe it and know that you're supported in whomever it is that you believe in, it don't do any good. It's surface value. It's like this. If I was to say, hey, this is lemon water, and yeah, I drink it every day, and I go through the motions, you know what? It may not work because I don't actually believe that it's going to work. Same thing with our healing. People that come in and we do the same thing consistently over and over and over again, and they never get any change, whether it's a reading or whether it's light work or what, I hate that word, but whatever it is. If they consistently do not listen to their guide's messages, nothing will change. And that is where I'm at with this shit. Like, that is where I'm at with a lot of this, is the fact it drives me insane. People sit and they wait to be rescued. They wait to be saved. And you are the one that dictates whether that happens or not. You are the one that decides. Like, you are a sovereign being. You get to make your own decisions. The different things that happen to us that are somewhat negative are actually a gift. And yeah, I'm going to get a lot of backlash from that, but that's okay. It's whatever. Like, there's shit that happens to us every single waking moment of every day. And there's a consequence for every reaction, or a reaction for whatever. Reaction for every consequence, whatever. We set those motions into play. We do. We just do. Like, it's very irritating in the victim mentality that I see walking around all the time, every day, because dark literally is feeding off of you. It literally is working off of you, and it is forcing you to do the things that you are doing. And until you find your faith, until you find your resolve, until you find your conviction, and you are right within inside of your soul, you're going to still keep dealing with being shit on. You're still going to keep dealing with all of the different projections that happen to you because of who you're allowing yourself to be around. So for those that don't understand why I don't go to these things, it's to protect myself. It's not because I don't have capability. It's not because I am scared. It is because I choose to decide where I put my energy. It is because I choose to decide who I allow to be in my space. And if that makes me a gatekeeper, more power to me, because I work with higher power. And I think that the spiritual movement is being thrown around very frivolously, like lots of things that man does, including religion. And it's being manipulated, and dark is manipulating the spiritual movement right now. I see it every waking moment of every day. People that do what I do, that have these gifts that are supposedly helping others, you're being fed on. You are being fed on because you have chose, whether you have done it on a conscious level or on a subconscious level, you have chose to make a pact with something because everything looks shiny and pretty. And because of everything looking shiny and pretty, you have chose to allow your fears to consume you, and because you want to be something huge, because you want to make a name for yourself, which is what cracks me up. I don't want an identity. I am not a light worker. I am not a Reiki healer. I'm not a medium. I'm not a psychic. I had to tell so many people yesterday what I do. And I get to a point where that's the only thing that they understand, because we've always had to have identities. I've done a video on that. We have always had to have an identity. And I don't want one. Because this literally is just an energetic vessel. This is a meat suit. What is inside of it is the most important thing, and it is eternal. It never dies. So, yeah, I'll take that title, because it is my job to protect the collective. It is my job to make sure that it is not falling into the wrong hands. And if you aren't doing your work, and you are not getting in your shit, which is what Scorpios know best, then it's surface level. And you can charge what you want for a reading. You can charge what you want for light work. You can charge what you want. And you can put all those labels and all those $2,000, $4,000 certifications, which mean shit. They mean nothing. And the reason they mean nothing is because in Indiana, which in some other states, yes, they do, but in Indiana, you really don't have to be certified in the stuff to do it because it's metaphysical, because it's holistic. And they don't agree because it's not FDA regulated and they don't agree with being holistic. So your certification literally is surface level. Am I certified in my shit? Yes, I absolutely am. But now owning a business and now moving further into what I do and learning that a lot of this stuff, it's people making money. It's people making money. That's literally what it is. It all starts from a base point, and you learn that basic quality. You learn that basic, whatever it is, tool. And then you are supposed to elevate, and you're supposed to strengthen, and you're supposed to move your practice into those things that need to be done. Not follow a baseline. Not go to all these classes. Unless you feel called to. If you feel called to go to all those classes, do it. But if somebody's charging you $1,000 for a class when you can go pay $30 or $40, $50 for a class, I highly recommend you go to the $30, $40, or $50 class. Because that $1,000, $2,000, $4,000 class is materialistic. And if you are meant to do this work, you will do it. But I also want you to understand that if you are doing this work, you need to make sure you're doing it with the right thing. And if you keep getting shit on constantly, it's not the light over here that's causing it. It's whatever that you have connected with that is manipulating you. It's whatever you have, and this is for everybody. This is not targeted at one person. This is for everybody because I've been dealing with this a lot. I've been seeing it a lot. I mean, I've only been in this for what, three, I've had it all my life, but I've only been in this for 3 years. But what I see, it really annoys me. It just really annoys me. Do I have days where I'm like, oh my God, this is, yeah, I do. But I get on my mat, I eat clean, take care of myself. I go out for a walk. Like I do whatever I can to get myself out of that mindset. And that's what people have to do. They have to get up. They have to put their big boy or big girl pants on and they have to do the work because that's what we're here for, folks. We're here to do the work. We're here to put the best that we can forward so that when we die, we get to move into a different lifetime or we get to ascend fully if we're done with all of our lessons. That's literally what this is about. For some, they get more than one chance. For some, they don't. And that just depends on how horribly bad you did the very first time or how horribly bad you did the second or third or the fifth time. Like I said, I've been labeled a gatekeeper. And I looked up the meaning of it. And I'm okay with that title. Because a lot of these 13, 14, 15-year-old kids that are watching TikTok that think they need to get tarot cards out and they need to play with them, they don't. Without having guidance and having the right guidance, not the wrong. Not everybody should be able to do this work. And it's not because I have ego. It's not because I have a business. It's not because I'm trying to make money and I don't want somebody else to. No, I don't put locators on my people. I don't let them get so far and then reel them back in, which I've seen many, many times. I don't do that to people. I want people to achieve. I want them to move on. I want people to have the gifts that they have and know how to work with them and know how to use them to help the collective. Because that's where we're at, folks. That's where we're at. A lot of the things that were working before are not working anymore. Going to the doctor, they only can give you what they know. That is it. And sometimes a lot of the things that are going on, that doctor does not understand and know because it's energetic. Because there is dark things walking amongst us every day that are just looking for a way to seep in. And it's very confusing to me how you could believe in dark, but you can't believe in light. Doesn't make any sense, does it? There has to be balance. There's always been balance. If you look in every single thing, yin and yang, all those different things, if you look in it, there is balance. It has to be there. Light and dark. The idea of heaven and hell. So no, not everything is all love and light. It's not, and it shouldn't be. But you should strive to find it. And that's where the spiritual movement, I feel like, has lost its way. Because it wants to promote love and light, love and light, love and light, love and light. But it doesn't want to talk about the dirt. It doesn't want to talk about the grime. It doesn't want to talk about the violence, the disgusting, putrid things that have happened to everybody to find the light. And that's where we're at. That's what we need. We've got to be able to know light in order to know dark, and we have to be able to know dark in order to know light. And maybe those that believe in love and light and they throw it around like it's on a freaking billboard, maybe it's because there's so much dark that they want to find it. It's like the Holy Grail. They want to find it so freaking bad that they don't know what to do. You've seen that movie. You've seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail when they're searching for the Holy Grail and they go to, what is it? They go to that castle or whatever, and there's all those women in that castle and they're all dressed in white. And that guy is like really scared of it. And he's very nervous because, you know, they're throwing themselves at him and zoot. And they all want a piece of him. Balance, folks. Because they've known light. And that's all they've known is light all of that time. And they want to experience dark. And vice versa. The guy, I wouldn't say he's dark, but I would say that he's not necessarily all light. And he wants to dabble in the light. He wants to know what the light is, but it scares him so badly. But even in that situation, if you watch the movie, and I know some of you know what I'm talking about, so this video is going to be very, very long. I haven't done one for a while. If you watch the movie, even those women that are light, there's still a little bit of dark there because they're like throwing themselves at this guy. And even though they are like angelic and they're all light and blah, 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 it's basically like a light brothel. It's like a heavenly brothel is kind of what it is. There's some darkness there. And so, you know, I'm irritated. I'm very irritated with a lot of the collective because once again, here we are with a lot of things that are going on in the matrix that are segregation, separation, and it's the same thing in the spiritual movement. You're seeing a lot of us that are moving in one direction. You're seeing a lot that are going the other direction. And I think it's just how it is. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do to change it. I wish there was. But if people are always going to use their ego and they're always going to look at that way and they're going to have greed and they're going to have, you know, all of those different things, which are the sins, right? If they're going to be working off of that, they're never going to find that balance because they're going to strive to make more money than they did the week before. They're going to keep striving to make a name for themselves. It's so disgusting. Like, why? Why do we need to make a name for ourselves? Why can't we just be? That's been lost. That's been lost a lot along the way. Just be. You don't have to be the name that you were given by your parents. You don't have to be Christian. You don't have to be Catholic. You don't have to be any of those things. None of those things existed originally. Somebody decided to take it over and manipulate it and create control. Because somebody wants to feel like they're wanted. Somebody wants to feel like they belong. And in humanistic quality, we all want to belong. But maybe in some cases, we're not supposed to. Maybe in some cases, we're not supposed to belong. We're supposed to walk our own path because we're sovereign beings. We get to make that decision. So, I'm sorry, guys. This is going to be a pretty long-ass video. It's looking like almost like an hour. It's almost 25 minutes in. And I just really wanted to address this. I wanted to hopefully lay it to rest. I'm not going to, and that's okay. I don't care. I'm not looking for validation from anybody. I love my clients. I love the people that come in and check out the space. That's what it's for. It's not mine. It's not ours. It's your guys's. We have created it for you to be able to come in, to enjoy yourself, to experience things that you've never experienced before, to see things that you've not experienced before. A little bit closer to home, a lot of the different workshops and different things like that that we want to bring in are things that people have not done. If you have done them, you have to go to Fort Wayne to do them. And even some of that I don't think has really been done. So, you know, I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't even know how to in this video really, because I'm tired of seeing there's so much in this video that I've went over. The book I was talking about, which I kind of went off the rail on that, and we still got a little bit of time. So the book that I'm talking about, I can't remember what it's called, but it's talking about evil altars is what it's talking about. And what it is it's the idea, and I watched the video very briefly, so I'm just going to kind of like go by that. It was this gentleman that had wrote a book, and he said that he talks to God, and that in the process of him talking to God, that God is a sovereign being and that God can't intervene. Let me see if I get this right. He said that there's something called evil altars, and it is basically a invisible door, an invisible space where we create an opening, I guess. So I kind of considered it to be the other side of the realm. And maybe I'll do another video on this. I'll actually watch the whole video because I got irritated. I'm not irritated. I just got bored with it. And I was like, you know what? This dude's just trying to sell his book. Because he was really hard to understand, which whatever. He was ethnic, and that's fine. I was trying to understand him. But he just kept talking about his book. He kept telling about his book. And the people in the audience were just kind of brainwashed, and they were kind of playing all into it. And I thought he made it sound like the only so like, and it was weird because he didn't even mention the work that we do. He made it sound like the people that do kind of the work that we do. So I don't know. It was like once again, surface level. The people that do the work that we do, they can't pull it from God. They have to pull it from the devil. And that the devil realizes that he can show himself as being God because he likes to portray himself as God. He likes to try and copycat God. And so he said that it's an evil altar, and that by doing different things, and he had said pornography, and he had said, I don't know, like different things. He said it was opening that door to the evil altar to allow the devil to get in. Okay, I get that to a certain degree. But he said that there was no way that anybody could do healing work, that could do these different things and stuff, because we were not given that capability. And that is another video for another day. I want to do a little bit more research on it before I actually do a video on it. But I don't think that's true. And I thought it was really odd because he was talking about the fact that we have free will, and he was talking about the fact that we have to be willing to, what did he say? Like, we had to be willing to close the evil altar and to let God in order to be able. So it was kind of like, okay, so the way the video started out was that, I'm trying to remember. The way the video started out was, it was like, I just went completely blank. It's because I didn't really pay attention to it that much. So the way the video started was, it was talking about why our prayers aren't answered. And this guy was talking about it and saying that our prayers are always answered, maybe just not the way that we want them to be, which I agree with that. Okay. Because a lot of us look at it from greed. A lot of us look at it from what we want and not exactly what we need. And so we don't see it as being answered. But most of the time, I would say they do. Just sometimes they're lessons instead of, oh, here you go. Here's $1,000. No. Well, here's an advertisement that showed up to get a job. where you're going to make $1,000. You see, it's just changing your perspective a little bit. And so he was basically saying that when we think that our prayers haven't been answered, it's because they're being blocked. And that this evil altar, because some have opened up this evil altar, it allows the devil, it allows dark to come in and manipulate the situation. And it makes us feel like we don't understand. It makes us feel like we haven't had our prayers answered. And then we go darker and darker and darker. And to a certain degree, okay, I get that. But there was one part that he was talking about where he was kind of saying basically that we can't do the work. Storms and stuff kept me up last night. We can't do this work and stuff. At least we can't do it from a place of good. And I fully and wholeheartedly don't believe that, because not saying that any of us are apostles by any means, because that's a big one. But what if that is the case? What if some people are being chosen, once again, not me, just in general, people are being chosen to use different modalities, to use these things that have been created, which were created a long time ago, to be able to help others. And it actually is God, it actually is light that is doing it, and it is not dark that is doing it. But once again, it can be manipulated, right? And everything can be manipulated. It doesn't matter. And I think that's kind of, the idea of, God source energy, whatever does you believe in, will give us something good. But then the devil or the dark or whatever gets jealous and goes, yeah, no, I don't want you to have that. And then it kind of takes it away. And then something else is given good to us, and then it gets taken away. And after it's been happening so many different times, we just kind of say, you know what, F it. Like, he's given up on us. He doesn't care about us. He doesn't want to help us. He's not listening to our prayers. And so then we decide to go the other direction. And that's what I'm saying, where I think that light and dark kind of balance out and they work together. How much are you willing to go through to find your way back? Or are you willing just to kind of give up, lay down, and allow the dark to take over? I see that a lot. My daughter said one thing last night. She said something about, she said, how'd she say it? It was really smart. I wish I could remember it fully, because we were downstairs talking. And she said the healing journey is way harder than the traumatic one, I think, is how she put it. I'd have to ask her, but it was really smart. It was really smart, and it was really beautiful, because she's right. It is. Because not only, here we go into another conversation, not only did you have to experience all those things one time, if you decide to do the work and you decide to go back in and heal those traumas, go back into that traumatic journey, you got to open up those wounds. And then you got to come into realization that those things happened, and you have to relive them all over again. And for anybody who says you don't have to, that's bullshit. You do. Because if you don't, you can't move it out of your nervous system. You can't move it out and move that stagnant energy out of your body, out of your meridians. You can't move it out. It has to be dealt with and resolved. And you actually have to believe. And you have to be willing to give it up and not sit with it and let it fester and use it as your crutch. I see that a lot too. And that's super, super annoying to me, honestly, to tell you the truth. Because, you should take it as a lesson. And no matter how hard it's been, you got to figure out a way to move past it. And it's not easy. It's not a one-time thing. Some people come in, do one session with me, they think they're going to be healed. They think they're going to be fine. And that's not how this works. This is just like, therapy and different things like that, where you have to consistently go in order to get anything out of it. And you have to actually allow yourself to engage too. That's the other part. Some people come in and they're trying to keep me out and they're trying to hide shit from me, and I'm going to find it anyways. It doesn't matter. And that's not ego. That's real. That's reality. Um, but I know that people have to do it in their own time too. Um, they can't start the healing journey unless they're ready to do it. And so that's why when people cancel on me, or, people say they want to come in and then they never do, or whatever, I realize they're not ready. And that's okay. But to keep wallowing in it and just sloshing yourself around in the mud and the shit, it's not going to accomplish anything. It's not going to solve anything. It's literally just going to make it 10 times worse for you. So, all right, guys, I don't even know what I've talked about on here. Apparently there was a lot that needed to be released. There was a lot that needed to be removed. This is all stuff that we definitely fellowshipped about yesterday. And this is all stuff that I've just been sitting back and seeing. I've been getting messages about. I know that if people that do choose to watch this video, it's going to be a little rough, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, it's going to be a little rough, and you might hate me for it. You might be mad at me, but hopefully after you've watched it and you get through all of whatever it is that you need to get through, you sit down and you think about it for a little bit and you try and get some form of something from it. Something resonates with you, or you can look at it and see it just a little bit differently, because it's needed. It's definitely very much so needed. And I could apologize, but I'm not going to, because I just really, the last couple days since this Pisces new moon, I've not had much filter. I hope that this is not a new thing from that new moon energy that I've acquired. Because I try to be empathetic towards everybody and I try to be sincere towards everybody, but there's some, I just can't do it anymore, man. I just can't. Like, there comes a point where you just, you just got to realize that sometimes this round is a shit show and we are just going to have to sift through it. Like, everybody has good days and bad days. Some more than others. And those usually that have those good and bad days, no matter what they say, if you choose to heal yourself from it, you can be incredibly strong from that. Incredibly strong from that. I've done it. Once again, not ego. Reality. I've done it. I've been shit on multiple times. It's why I don't do friends. It's why I don't have them. Do I consider my clients friends? Yes, to a certain degree. But as far as like getting together and hanging out with people and talking about them about my personal shit, I don't do that. I don't. Very, very seldom do I do that. I might have a few, very few, but I've never been one to connect with others that way. And I have never been one to open myself up. I've only really opened myself up to couple people. My daughter, my son to a certain degree, and my husband. And my mama. I'll open up to her. But as far as relationships with people that I don't really know that well, I just don't do it. I just don't do it. And I try to see things completely different than what I used to, and understand that people have healing they need to do, and those different things that they go through and those different traumas that they have. But I don't want anybody to ever think that you can't heal those things, because you can. You absolutely can. The things that have been done in my practice in the last 3 years is absolutely beautiful. But it's not me. I'm not the one doing it. It's you guys. It's the clients. Because you choose to make that decision. You choose to do the work. And that's what it's all about, folks. I mean, that's what it's about. Do you choose to do the work? Do you choose to get yourself up after you fell down 50 times and you get back up and you keep going? For your children, for your grandchildren, for whomever. Hell, even for those that you can't even see anymore. That's a big thing too, like ancestral lineage healing. That is a huge thing. Things that your grandfather went through, things that your great-grandfather went through, things that your ancestors that you don't even know exist went through. That carries in your bloodline. And that's all different things that, we have within us that we don't know why. It's why, to me, it is why diabetes can be genetic. It is why cancer is genetic. It is why all those different things happen, because there is some trauma, and stay with me on this, this is pretty amazing. There is some trauma that somebody in the bloodline has carried, which changes their nervous system. It changes their bloodline. It changes everything about them. And then it's carried because the mother carries it inside of herself in her DNA. And then the umbilical cord, the blood that flows, puts it into that child. And then sometimes it'll be dormant and it won't come out in certain ones, but then it'll show up years later. Hold on, I gotta let my dog out. He's being a jerk. Yeah, it's crazy, like how it works. But, you know, there was like some meme or something that I read very vaguely this morning or whatever, and it was talking about the fact that our traumas and stuff don't make us stronger. Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. If you choose to make yourself that way, if you choose to take those messages and you decide to do with them, that's where the work is. That's where the work that we do comes into play, because we go into the subconscious mind and we try to find those things. We try to help people with those things. And then once we find them and we pull them out, yeah, it sucks going back through them, but you have to. I've had people come to me and they go to certain forms of therapy and they tell them they don't have to do that. Oh, you never have to relive that again. You never have to go through that again. You never have to experience it again. In my practice, yeah, you do. You may not have to fully experience it, but you definitely need to come to a realization with it. You have to figure out a way to remember it to a certain degree so that way you can get rid of it. Because if you don't remember it and you lodge it into your subconscious and you leave it there, that's where stagnant energy is created. That's where disease, that's where all of those things are created. That's where it comes from, guys. And then it goes down the bloodline into your kids, into your family members. It's energetic. It's all energetic. It can also have to do with our nutrition too. But I also think that on a physical level, there's two different bodies. We have two different bodies. We have an energetic body and we have a physical body. The physical body we have to take care of, because if we're sticking shit in it, which has to do from the emotional response, so, you know, we've got a trauma inside of us that we're not dealing with and we haven't dealt with, and we just keep seeing the shit show constantly. And then we see something happen to somebody else, which triggers that response inside of us, which tightens our heart, which tightens our body, which tightens everything inside of us. Then it causes stagnant energy. And then what do? Oh, well, we're not going to go grab a salad. We're not going to go get lemon water. We're not going to go drink some herbal tea. No, we're going to go grab chocolate. We're going to go grab a burger, because why would we eat healthy? Like, we've been dealt a shit show. We've been dealt a shitty end of the stick. So I'm not going to eat healthy. I'm not going to take care of this body. I don't care if I stay alive. I don't care if I live. See, that's the problem. You give up. You give up. And it doesn't matter how many prayers that you say. It doesn't matter how much you ask for help. If you don't truly want to help yourself, then the help's not going to be there. Because you chose. You chose. As I said, I hope somebody gets something from this. I did not plan for this to be that long, but man, it was bugging me all night long. My team kept saying, you got to do this video today. You got to do this video today. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. And like, you got to do it. You got to do it. You have to. And I'm like, oh my God. And then this morning in his meditation, it would not leave me alone. Like, constantly, all these different things were coming in my head and coming into my space. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're done. Like, this has to happen. Like, I can't, like, I'll get my lemon water down this morning because I've been talking so much. All right, guys, I love you. I'll do an energy update here too. I'm not sure. I've just been busy. I've been a busy girl. I'm gonna work on a I was supposed to go do a house blessing today, but I'm not going to do that because it fell through. So I'm going to get on my mat. I'm going to do some cacao here. And then I'm going to try and work on some more moon rings. I was showing people yesterday and people are really interested in them. So I want to try and get those done. So that way I have them this week for everybody. We've got aquamarine in the shop, and I do believe we've got more that'll be coming in. So there will be, for March birthdays, there will be some aquamarine birthstone rings. There will be some aquamarine birthstone necklaces. We've got the raw cut. We've got the tumbled cut. Aquamarine is really good for the throat and the heart space. That is the interesting thing about it is, though, it doesn't have to match the color in order for it to work with your energy, in order for it to work with the centers. It is a misconception. I think that's part of the publication. That's part of the materialistic making money scheme type thing. I truly believe it's intuitively whatever you need. Most of everything that I do is intuitive readings, intuitive healing, intuitive meditation, intuitive eating, all intuitive, guys, incredibly intuitive. And I've had some people that have come in. I now offer intuitive wellness too. So that is definitely something if, you are having issues with your body. I do the foot detoxes now. That's pretty amazing. I've done a couple sessions with some people. One in particular where I kept telling her it was her thyroid. I kept telling her that it's her hormones. Doctors don't want to check it. And, we did the foot detox, and for any of those that think it's fake, yeah, you'd be wrong. Because sure as crap, it showed up, and it showed that it was in her reproductive system, her kidneys, and all of that area was being detoxed. So for any of you that have been very skeptical about it, but have been questioning it, come and check it out. Come and experience it. It's $60 for an hour, 30 minutes for the foot detox with a hand and foot or hand massage. And we just talk and we enjoy each other's company. You get served warm herbal tea or water, whatever you would like. And then we let you soak for 30 minutes. I usually only do 30 minutes with people for right now, unless on their first experience. And then after they experience it more than that, I will allow them to go for another 30 minutes to detox even more. I would tell those that are diabetic to be very careful with it. Make sure you talk to your doctor. For those that have heart issues, make sure that you talk to your doctor, because what it does is it goes and it pulls those impurities out, and it can, for those that have heart arrhythmia, it can cause that. For those that are diabetic, it can change your insulin levels, because think about it. If you are detoxing, you are getting rid of the impurities, which your body is very happy about. And so then you don't need those medications as much. So it starts changing your equilibrium. It starts changing your body mass. It starts changing all those different things in your body. Very good for weight loss. The one that I got is a little bit more cost effective, but the other one that I'm looking at, you actually wrap the belt around the waist and you actually put it around your wrist. So it connects with the different energy points. It also connects with those areas of the body, and it's very good for weight loss. So I highly recommend we do the 30-minute detox, and then we do a foot massage with a little bit of a pressure point. So almost completely certified in reflexology, and then that will be definitely something that I am offering here very, very soon. Yeah, guys, I'm so sorry. If you have an hour or two spare, please check out this video. If you don't, then don't. But I feel like it's something that definitely needs to be addressed, and I feel 10 times better. I love you guys, whatever it was that was being very toxic in my body that was causing all of the anger and discomfort. I feel like I've gotten rid of it, and I really, really, very, very much so love you guys for that you take the time to listen to my bullshit. So have a great day. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much to everybody that stopped in yesterday and hung out with me and talked to me and made my heart feel so incredibly full, that set up appointments. You were all amazing. And I can't wait to see, moving into the spring and the summer, where we go. Have a great and blessed Sunday. Love you. Bye.